Hi there, I'm Marlene, and if you're anything like me, Halloween is one of the best times of the year. There's something about this season that brings out the creativity in all of us, especially in the kitchen. I've been throwing Halloween parties and whipping up spooky treats for years, and let me tell you, it's not just about the decorations and costumes. The food is where the real magic happens. Whether you're hosting a big Halloween bash or just looking for some fun, themed snacks for your family, I've got you covered. These recipes are perfect for any kind of gathering, big or small. I've tried them all, some multiple times, and each one is a hit with both kids and adults. So grab your apron and let's get spooky in the kitchen. Let me start with one of my all-time favorite Halloween desserts, ghost cookies. Now, these aren't just any cookies. They're sugar cookies shaped like little ghosts, decorated with icing. What I love about these is how simple they are to make, but how impressive they look on the table. My daughter always helps me out with these, and it's become one of our Halloween traditions. The cookies are buttery and sweet, and the icing adds that little extra touch to make them both delicious and spooky. I start with a basic sugar cookie dough. You just need flour, butter, sugar, and vanilla. Pretty standard ingredients, right? But the fun begins when you roll out the dough and start cutting out those ghost shapes. If you don't have a ghost-shaped cookie cutter, don't worry. You can easily make your own template with some cardboard or freehand it. After baking them until they're golden around the edges, I let them cool completely. Then comes the decorating. I use royal icing to give them that smooth, ghostly finish, and with a little black icing, you can add 2 spooky eyes and a mouth. But here's a tip I've picked up over the years. Don't stress too much about perfection. Part of the fun of Halloween is that everything can be a little quirky or uneven. My daughter and I often laugh at how some of our ghosts look more like blobs, but they taste just as good. Next up are my pumpkin cake pops. I know cake pops might seem intimidating, but they're actually pretty easy once you get the hang of them. The trick is in the texture of the cake. After you bake your favorite cake, crumble it up and mix it with frosting until it's almost like a dough. Then, roll it into little balls and pop them onto lollipop sticks. The key here is using orange candy melts to give them that classic pumpkin look. After you dip each cake pop in the melted candy, you can use green icing to make a cute little stem. I can't tell you how popular these are at parties. Kids love them because they're fun to eat and they look so festive. Plus, if you're making them for a crowd, they're easy to serve and less messy than a traditional cake. Speaking of parties, one of the most requested items at my Halloween gatherings is the spider web brownies. These fudgy brownies are so rich and chocolatey, and when you top them with a spider web made from melted marshmallows, they really steal the show. After the brownies cool, I melt a handful of mini marshmallows in the microwave. Here's where it gets fun. Using a fork, I stretch the gooey marshmallow across the brownies to create a spooky web effect. My son likes to take it a step further and add plastic spiders on top, which definitely gives it that extra you factor. But let's not forget the savory snacks. I know Halloween is all about sweets, but sometimes you need something a little different. One of my go-to savory treats is mummy hot dogs. These are a hit every year. You take crescent roll dough and cut it into strips, then wrap it around hot dogs, leaving a little gap for the mummy's face. Bake them until golden, and use mustard or ketchup to dot on some eyes. Simple, right? But they're always a crowd pleaser. And then there are the monster sandwiches. These are perfect if you're making lunch for your kids or need a quick snack for a party. I use cookie cutters to turn slices of bread into fun shapes, like triangles for teeth or circles for eyes. You can fill the sandwiches with whatever you like: lunch meat, cheese, even peanut butter and jelly if you're feeling nostalgic. I'll never forget the time I made these for my son's class. The kids went wild over them, and they were the talk of the lunchroom. Now, no Halloween party is complete without some themed drinks. My favorite is a haunted punch. It's so easy to make, and the kids absolutely love it. I mix ginger ale with orange juice for a fizzy, citrusy punch, and then I throw in gummy worms for an extra spooky touch. If you want to really impress your guests, freeze gummy worms inside ice cubes ahead of time. When they start to melt, the worms seem to rise out of the drink, and the kids get such a kick out of it. For the adults, or even the kids if you leave out the alcohol, I love making vampire blood mocktails. It's basically cranberry juice mixed with sparkling water, but I rim the glasses with red sugar to give it that bloody effect. Add a red licorice straw, and you've got yourself a drink that looks as good as it tastes. Now, let's talk about the main course. If you're having a family dinner or a more formal Halloween party, stuffed peppers shaped like jack-o'-lanterns are a must. I take orange bell peppers, cut off the tops, and carve little faces into them, just like you would with a pumpkin. Then, I stuff them with a mixture of ground beef, rice, and tomatoes. After baking them for about 25 minutes, you have a savory, spooky dish that's as delicious as it is adorable. The best part about these peppers is that they're easy to customize. You can swap out the ground beef for turkey, or make them vegetarian by using beans or quinoa. It's a versatile dish that's perfect for feeding a crowd. Of course, Halloween isn't just about the food, it's about the atmosphere too. One thing I always remind myself is that the presentation is just as important as the recipe. With a little creativity, you can turn even the simplest dish into something spooky and fun. Use themed plates, sprinkle candy eyeballs around your serving trays, and don't be afraid to get a little messy with your decorations. Halloween is all about having fun, after all. And don't worry about being perfect. My kitchen on Halloween night is always a little chaotic, but that's part of the joy. My kids are running around in their costumes, the house smells like sugar and spice, and we're all laughing as we create these creepy and delicious dishes together. So, I hope these recipes inspire you to get into the Halloween spirit this year. Whether you're hosting a big party or just making some fun snacks for your family, remember to embrace the spooky fun of it all. Don't be afraid to get creative, and most importantly, enjoy the process. Cooking should be just as fun as eating, especially when it comes to Halloween. Thanks for joining me in my spooky kitchen. I can't wait to see how your own Halloween treats turn out. Be sure to share your creations with me online. I love seeing how people put their own spin on these recipes. And hey, don't be afraid to experiment. Who knows? You might just come up with a new Halloween tradition of your own. Happy Halloween and happy cooking!